Welcome, fellow aviators. Today we'll be discussing preserving your Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine. The objective of the video is to provide info regarding preservation of your engine during times of inactivity. So first we tackle why preserve your engine. During normal operation, contaminants such as humidity may be found in the fuel. When the engine is active, it's generally not an issue, since contaminants will flow down into the combustor chamber and burn. When your aircraft is in storage, however, these contaminants will settle in areas that could lead to corrosion of the fuel system, which will adversely impact performance. In addition, the oil system is not free of the risk of corrosion. You might think that oil and water do not mix. However, the oil used in an engine's lubrication system is slightly hygroscopic, meaning it has the ability to absorb water. The oil system is also not completely airtight, so the humid air and oil will interact. The oil will become slightly acidic and slowly deteriorate components and casings. To prevent all this from happening, all oil from the engine must be drained. Remember, moisture is your enemy. Materials like steel and magnesium are vulnerable to corrosion from water. So if you're not using your aircraft engine for some time, you should take several simple but effective steps to maintain it. The ultimate goal is to minimize the risk of engine deterioration. So how do we go about this engine preservation? Preservation depends on the period of inactivity. The engine may be considered inactive if not operated for a minimum of 10 minutes after the oil temperature has stabilized. The period of inactivity should be established and reference made to the engine preservation procedures, which we will highlight in the next following slides. Here are some preservation timetables. Engines inactive 0 to 7 days, there is no preservation protection required. We always recommend to install inlet and exhaust covers during this period. Engines inactive from 8 to 28 days, seal off all engine openings. Ensure relative humidity must be maintained at 40% or less. Of course, the best course of action is to operate your engine at ground idle temp for at least 10 minutes. This means getting the oil temperature into the green arc and stabilize for 10 minutes. If we continue on, and for engines inactive from 29 to 90 days, of course we must perform everything just mentioned from 0 to 7 days and 8 to 28 days. In addition, the engine must be washed externally. Do a compressor performance recovery desalination wash and a turbine rinse. Examine all engine external protective coating and touch-up repair as necessary. Lubricate all linkages and comply with Pratt & Whitney manual instructions for draining the existing oil and supplying preservation oil to the engine. It is imperative to follow the Pratt & Whitney maintenance manual when preserving your aircraft engine, so please coordinate with your service center. The action stated in this slide must be performed by a service center, so if you need assistance in coordinating with your service center or have any questions, please stay tuned to the end where we can give you some information to contact customer support. Now, why are we talking about this? The importance of what we're saying is captured in this slide. For a period greater than 90 days but less than 1 year, has greater repercussions than other inactive periods, as you can imagine. If the FCU is unpreserved for more than 90 days, an inspection and bench test of that unit must be done. This is the fuel control unit that regulates the fuel to your engine. It must be bench tested. So this is an additional cost to you. If the humidity is 40% or greater or has not been monitored, the engine must be automatically routed to a shop for a light overhaul. If the humidity was monitored and recorded in the logbook during all the inactivity period as being less than 40% humidity, Pratt & Whitney will review a request on an individual basis and provide a deviation letter for return to service. However, this deviation letter costs $7,000. We must also note that a light overhaul on one of these Pratt & Whitney PT6 engines runs between $150,000 to $165,000. So please keep all this in mind during the period of inactivity. Should you have any questions regarding your aircraft, TBM Care has hotlines set up. If you're in an AOG situation, please dial 1-844-4TBM-AOG. Should you have any technical questions and you are not AOG, you may reach us at 1-833-TBM-CARE. TBM Care will be able to coordinate with your service centers and answer any questions you might have on engine preservation. For our Kodiak friends, AOG and support hotline is available 24/7, 365 by our team of dedicated, knowledgeable Kodiak technicians. Please contact Kodiak Care at 208-263-1111. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more. Fly safe and blue skies ahead.